What is going on, guys? It's been a while since I last saw you. I think it was the review for the Tascam DR40X, and since then I've been on a long pilgrimage. 2 months I went to Portugal, Spain, and I did 3 caminos. So this will be the first video, hopefully in a long series of me reviewing the gear that I'm using, because I gotta ask a lot of questions. And today we're gonna talk about the DJI Osmo Pocket. This little boy over here revolutionized the things that I take with me, my gear. It is just amazing. And I took it with me. I know that I'm a little late to the party. A lot of reviews out there about the Osmo. This one is gonna be geared towards the activities that I do. For example, you can see my pilgrimage playing back in the background. I do a lot of hiking, I do mountaineering stuff. So I need equipment that is super light, super accessible, that I can just take it out, hit record, and not have to worry much about it. If you're trying to use it for more of a production environment, then some of the things that I might say may not apply to you. But for me, this little thing over here just completely changed my life. So where are my shoes? Let's roll that intro, please. So right off the bat, best thing about it is the size. Before having the DJI Osmo Pocket, I was using the Crane 3 with a DSLR camera and the lens that I'm using right here, the 16-35. Then I switched to the Ronin S from DJI as well. Amazing stabilizer, but very bulky, heavy. The battery lasted a long time, but having to stop, set up the gimbal, balance it a little bit, and then get the shot. You know, when you have to walk every day 20-30 kilometers and be getting shots constantly, that gets in the way. You don't want to have to put your gear together. You just want to take out your camera, get your shot, and move on. That is the reason why some of the times I would never even use it. I would just use the camera handheld, and at the same time I wanted those nice butter smooth shots that you can get with a gimbal. Then this one came out a couple of months before I left on my pilgrimage, and just check out the size. I mean, that's it. It is pretty much a drone camera on a stick. DJI is famous for their gimbals, and this one is not an exception. It is a tough cookie, even though it may seem a little bit flimsy. I dropped it in Portugal. It happened. I had it on this stick over here, the selfie stick from the 360 camera that I also took. I'll be doing a video about that one too. I was getting a shot of myself. The wind knocked it over. It smashed the protective screen for the lens, and the battery compartment opened up. I had to like snap it back in place, and then I took a knife and I got rid of all the little glass that was covering the shatter glass that was covering the lens, and it worked perfectly. Like I said, I used it for 54 days, every single day. Temperatures ranging between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and maybe as high as 80. Did not have a problem with condensation. Well, what condensation? There was no screen here. And the battery life would last me the whole day. Sometimes when I would go crazy and it would go down to like 50%, I would just plug it into a battery pack, and it was just for just to get a little bit more juice out of it. And yeah, I mean, 4K, 60 frames per second, so you can do slow motion. If you want to push it even more, you can go down to HD at a 120. Never did it. I used this camera mainly as my vlogging camera. I had 6 cameras this time around on my trip, which is kind of crazy. I had my phone, the gimbal, I had the drone, I had this camera, I had a 360 camera, and I also had a 3D camera. The only thing that I was missing was my thermal camera. But yeah, I took everything, I used everything every single day, and this camera was, like I said, was mainly for vlogging. I bought this adapter so I could connect it to the selfie stick, like so. So this was kind of like my routine every time I wanted to get a shot. And as you can see, it was very useful. I got multiple angles with this one. I would get my feet by just flipping it upside down, just get my legs walking. I could get shots behind me like so. So I could be walking like that. And since it's a mechanical gimbal, it looked very, very smooth. Difference between mechanical and digital is the digital, you kind of zoom in into the image and you have to compensate for the movement, but it's not perfect. This one actually does it in real time. And if it's not smooth enough, you can actually add digital stabilization later in an editing software. So let's, like I said, for the pros, we got the 4K, the size, the battery life, mechanical gimbal. It has a touch screen. You can actually see yourself when you're recording. You can see it 4:3 or 16:9. A few little things that I didn't like about it is that the wireless module, you have to buy it separate and plug it in down here. Also, the audio is not great, especially on windy conditions, but once I was there, DJI released this adapter that you can plug in here and then connect a lavalier to it, so it's not a problem anymore. I did not have that option, so I had to record all my audio with a Tascam DR40X. DR40X. And I also had a problem with my phone connecting it through the Wi-Fi. There was a problem with Android devices that it would not connect. So after a while, I found out in the internet that you can connect to it by turning off the Bluetooth option, but it was just another step that I had to do. So I took with me a bunch of accessories that I didn't use. I shipped them back. One of them was this one, where you can actually connect your phone to the device and then put it on the selfie stick. It was too cumbersome for me, so I shipped it home. For being a vlogging camera mainly, the field of view is kind of narrow, so you extend your hand like so and it is still a very close-up shot of your face. I wish it was a little bit wider, hence the extension, the boom pole, the selfie stick. But now I've heard that you can actually get an adapter and snap it into the front. I took with me polarized filters to make that blue sky popped, but once the camera fell and everything here broke, including the filter, now I can't snap anything to it. So, eventually I'm gonna have to get a new one. Hopefully it will be the new version of this, and I'm sure DJI is gonna address all those problems that I was telling you about. Another one that I kept having every few days or so is that the camera, once I would turn it on, it would initialize like so, and then it would the screen would turn off, and then it would do it all over again, and then all the settings will default back to the default settings, and then I will have to go in and reset everything back to my presets. I was shooting in flat profile, 4K, 24 frames per second. The screen, instead of 4:3, go to 16:9. So imagine having to do all that as you're walking, because I don't stop, I don't take breaks, and yeah, that was the only inconvenience that I had with it. Like I said, other than that, super compact. Look at this. Battery life lasted the whole day. I could get smooth shots. I mean, just amazing. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And the ones that are playing in the back right now, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. This is not a sponsored video. DJI did not send me this unit. I had to buy it myself. We're not there yet. Hopefully one day. So this is just my experience of vlogging from the field with this kind of equipment. I love it. You know, I got nothing bad to say about it. You know, nothing, no piece of gear is perfect. The things that I did not like, I always could work around it. I am sure they're gonna address it. So keep it up, DJI. And guys, I'll see you on the next video.